Good morning, sober people. Today is 22 August 2020, and today's daily reflection, seeking emotional stability. Let's go. All right, here we go. 22 August 2020. Seeking emotional stability. When we developed still more, we discovered the best possible source of emotional stability to be God Himself. Again, if you're not a God believer, you can not omit but change that to something that suits your need for a higher power. We found the dependence upon His perfect justice, forgiveness, and love was healthy, and that it would work where nothing else would. If we really depended upon God, we couldn't very well play God to our fellows, nor would we feel the urge wholly to rely on human perfection and care. 12 Steps and 12 Traditions, page 116. If you don't know, there is another book called 12 Steps and 12 Traditions that is a smaller scale down. It's not a smaller scale down version, but it is a single book of the 12 traditions and 12 steps. I'll have that link in the description below. All my life, I depended on people for my emotional needs and security, but today, I cannot live that way anymore. By the grace of God, I have admitted my powerlessness over people, places, and things. I had been a real people addict. Wherever I went, there had to be someone who would pay some kind of attention to me. It was kind of an attitude that would only get worse, because the more I depended upon others and demanded attention, the less I received. I have given up on believing that any human power can relieve me of that empty feeling. Although I remain a fragile human being who needs to work the AA steps to keep this particular principle before my personality, it is only a loving God who can give me inner peace and emotional stability. Page 243 in the Daily Reflections. Now, that's a big deal for me. Because throughout my drinking career, as well as way prior to that, thanks to the way I grew up, I needed people's attention. Much like yesterday, I needed people's approval as well. But more so, there had to be someone that was going to give me the attention that I needed, be it negative or positive, especially during my drinking history, because what would be the point of trying to satisfy someone else or trying to satisfy a need outside of yourself if nobody was paying attention? It was anyone who was next to me. It was my neighbor, it was my wife, it was my girlfriend, it was my son, and so on, or even my twin brother on a couple occasions, to where um, they needed to pay attention to me. And I think being an alcoholic is, especially an active alcoholic, is like being a giant baby. I need attention, and if I don't get it, I'm going to pout until I do. After a while, it's not going to work anymore. The people, places, and things that I was choosing as an alcoholic were those there just to be self-serving and to be some sort of validation for me, that I'm not just a drunk and that I will be paid attention to. But if you weren't paying attention to me, I was quick to dismiss your ass or just altogether omit you from my life. And then I would move on to the next. It could be nightclubs, it could be, a bar or whatever. Um, Down in our depths, we still crave attention. And for me, that was, waiting on a phone call from my wife so I could call her a bad word and feel better about myself and the condition that I was in. It's a really weird cycle. And seeking emotional stability, I wasn't going to get it simply because I thought I deserved it. And I also wasn't going to get it from the way that I was treating the people around me. Through the grace of God, and if that's off putting for you, you can change it to whatever higher power you want. I was able to become at peace with myself and change the people, places, and things that I was surrounding myself with that kept me drinking and that definitely didn't feel the void that I was looking for. They were always just temporary band-aids. A lot of you can relate to that, and a lot of things that I have received lately, and one particularly on Reddit, and which I'll talk about again in my video that I'm posting later today, the key to sobriety. Um, a woman is struggling right now. Her husband is 3 years into um, deep alcoholism, as she can see it, and he's done some things that definitely are lashing out for emotional support, but he's doing it in all the alcoholic ways that we're familiar with. And even as addicts, we 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 act like giant babies, and that's what he's doing. But he's hurting the entire family, and his need for emotional stability is being handled all the wrong ways, and that's just how we as alcoholics approach it. Especially without help or help from our higher power. I feel for her, and I was kind of hesitant to give my opinion on the situation only because I'm not a doctor or a counselor. Um, but hopefully, she's able to receive it the way that I intended on, and hopefully, I don't cause any more harm than what she's already going through. I don't want to overstep my bounds. Um, but that all occurred to me, and I didn't complete that because it's not really my lane to complete that situation. But she also is looking for emotional stability in her life, and I hope that she's able to find it and get some help as well, because not only the alcoholic suffers in our disease, it's also the person from the outside looking in who often gets hurt worse. And you can see that in my video, Watching Me Drown. My wife watched me drown. I go into that a lot, but I'm rambling. So the daily reflections, seeking emotional stability, I found that with my higher power, and I was able to become at peace with myself, and know that I'm living a sober life. I'm living a life of fulfillment, regardless if it's exciting to somebody else. For me, it is. Um, and I'm very calm on the inside. Unlike when I was drinking, I was restless and panicked all the time, and my anxiety was at such a level that even even as my attempts to reach out and latch onto other people for my emotional support, it just wasn't going to happen. Definitely not that way. So if you're able to relate to this daily reflection, drop a comment below and let me know some of the ways that you've seeked emotional stability in your life, and how the daily reflections thus far within this channel is helping you and yours. I look forward to seeing you guys a little bit later this afternoon, and I hope you tune in. You have a great sober day. And for now, I'll see you in the next one. Life's a garden. Dig it, people.